Hey guys, so today I was like working on stock crawler. So basically my requirement was like I was doing like I was trying to find out the CAGR of last 10 years. So my approach first was like let's say I have Reliance and I want to find the last 10 years CAGR. So what I was doing, I was going to the screener website. Here I was searching for like Reliance, and as you can see here in the bottom there is there is this section where stock price CAGR is mentioned here. I just inspected that element and found out like, yeah, okay. So here in this TR element, I'm getting 5 years, 10 years CAGR. So one thing I also noticed is like in this website, like in the screener website, this part is like static till the company part is like static, and this is like the dynamic part. I can show you by like putting here some other company name. So let's say I put here DMart. So you can see here I'm getting this Avenue DMart Limited. So yeah, so what I did, I just take this DMart value, put it inside the JSON. As you can see here in this other JSON, I'm having this URL part that is DMart, and this is the name just for my sake. Like when I was like, well, I will just export that data, so I will just use this name. So here in this index.html, let's see how I was doing that. So let's first take the imports, or like what are all models we are using here. So we are using this node fetch module. We are using Cheerio module just to convert, just to take the HTML, and then we are using this JSON to XLS module, which will convert the JSON into XLS format. Now if you go down, so these are like the JSONs. I segregated this JSON file into based on the sector. So these are like the JSON files. I'm using this process talk function. So here if I go here, if you can see, I'm using this crawl method. That is like I created this crawl method, and here this is like an async method, and this part, as I told you, like this will be the static part, and this URL will be taken from this JSON. Then I'm using this Cheerio module to load that response HTML. It is in this dollar object. You can use like dot range table, because if you know here, as I just inspect that element, there was a class of dot range element, dot range table. That was the element name of, that was the class name. So I was targeting that element. Inside that element, I was finding the text of that element, and then if you can see here, so whatever the text I'm getting, that is in this, I'm putting it in this table data object. Now I'm checking if the table data object exists, then I'm just like again calling this process data. This is like another method. So here in this process data, I'm taking that data object. I created this CAGR object, which will give me the stock name, year. So these are like the columns you can see that I'll be getting in the output in the Excel. Now if you can see, like in that second element, it's like this table data is having all the elements, but if you go here, let's say I'm going to find the CAGR for this. So here you can see this TR object is like the first element, and this TR object is like the second element. So from the second element, I'm finding out that basically not that one. This is like that range table. So this is like zeroth, first, and this is like the second index. So this second index, this range table element, I wanted to target. So that's why I'm using here table data 2. If you want to find out like any other thing like compounded profit growth or anything, then you can just like target that corresponding. So now here we are having this like 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year. So I just run the crawler, and you can see the input, so you can see the output I'm printing here. So this is that data that this is that element that I'm getting. I'm just removing the slash n's and plus symbols, and here not plus symbol, this column and all, by using this regex. And then you can see here like I'm getting this clean string. So I'm checking like if that string contain 10 years, then I'm like splitting it and then finding out that 22%. So yeah, that's what I'm doing it, and then segregating it based on 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, and 1 year. Then I'm returning that Kaggle object. So that returned Kaggle object will be getting here uh, in this by calling the process data, and that will be returning in this scroll API, in this scroll method. So this scroll method will give me that response object, and that response object we are like using it. So this now we can see we have created this finish response object, which will be taking like oil input response. Then we are like again adding it, that response object again we are adding it for that bank input JSON response. Then again we are taking that FMCG response and adding it in this response object, final response object. We are also put like a delay of 10 seconds, because like sometimes what is happening, if we are continuously hitting it, then screener is like restricting me. So what I was doing, like after each 5 to 10 stops, I'm just like putting a delay of 10 seconds. So yeah, after doing everything, like after getting that final response, you can see like I wrote that JSON, that response JSON in an XLS format, and that I'm writing it in this doc.xlsx file. So if you just go here uh, and open this file, yeah. So these are like all the stocks that I have. So you can see like Reliance Industries and all. So these are like all the stocks Kaggle of like 10 years. So yeah, so by this you can also customize it. So this code will be available in Git. Please check it out and customize it as you need. Yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot.